All right, hey everyone, it's Pooh. Kind of an unofficial Poohtang clan, Poohtang clan. No, just Poohtang stream, and gonna do this kind of in a hard bastard style. I know he's not the originator of it, but he seems to have popularized it. Anyway, quick. There's gonna be a couple of quick backgrounds here. First background is amongst the Stormy Daniels, Michael Cohen, Donald Trump story that has been out for a month or so now, I guess. Jesus. I was having a discussion, and when somebody brought up campaign finance, I needed to remind them of a particular story that had happened a while back with a former vice presidential nominee who was indicted for campaign finance. Part 2 background story. And it's not really a background, but more of an informational thing. Speaking of indictments. I've got it switched up. Let's see. Giuliani, Mueller's team told Trump's lawyers they can't indict a president. What makes that great is I've been arguing for help pretty much since Trump got elected, and they were talking about the illegalities of his presidential win. And I've been telling these people ever since then, Trump can't be indicted as a sitting president. They better hurry up before he gets sworn in. But then 2 months passed pretty quickly, and now he's president, and now we have this story that Mueller can't indict Trump. Man, sometimes it feels so good to be right about shit. Anyway, John Edwards is who I'll be talking about now. Sorry, I started way down at the bottom of the page, but I actually started this stream earlier. As I said, this is a take 2. Did I say that? Pardon me. This is a take 2 because I had gone through about 10 minutes of a stream without realizing that I had not turned my mic on for OBS. Way to be aware of everything. Anyway, and if you look at the title, I've put this a la Latin Franny at Franny Feel. It's okay when I do it. And I'm going to, I have planned to attack this recent thing that her news broken or broke back news or whatever the hell it's called. They just recently released one about Trump's hypocrisy, which just in the first couple of minutes, I'm like, okay, let's not address your hypocrisy. But we'll get to that. I'll get to that. Hopefully by Sunday. We'll see. Because I got a couple of things lined up for Sunday. Anyway, in that vein of it's okay when I do it, John Edwards indicted on campaign finance charges dated June 3rd, 2011. Now, for those who have been, who are either too young or have been living under a rock for the last 7 years, or maybe just even uninterested, John Edwards was a former vice presidential nominee and former presidential candidate. I forget when he... the story does say that. And I'm going to go ahead and go through the whole story because there is some background involved on what had happened and when it had happened. So, I mean, really, I could just read the first 3 paragraphs and be good because the first line and second paragraph is just strikes me as hilarious. Anyway, so on with the story. Former vice presidential nominee John Edwards was indicted Friday on charges of using illegal campaign donations to conceal his mistress from voters, a stunning fall from grace for a politician once considered a serious contender for the White House. It was that indeed. We haven't seen or heard from John Edwards much, if at all, since 2011. The indictment triggered immediate criticism from a range of campaign finance and legal experts who said the government's case is unprecedented and appears weak. Now, the reason why the case is unprecedented, even though campaign finance law has been around for a while, is because probably because of this issue here. The government hasn't been able to sufficiently substantiate or build up a strong case in order to prosecute one where it comes to campaign finance. They question whether it would survive the fierce defense being mounted by Edwards' lawyers, who say his actions did not constitute a crime. It's not illegal to be a pig. Okay. And I really wish the Democrats would remember this. I wish they would remember that it's not illegal to be a pig. Lefties, believe it or not, we understood what we were getting with Trump. We understood that he's really not a great guy when it comes to his personal relationships with women. Nothing illegal has been proven so far, but all we've gotten is a bunch of accusations, rather, not speculations, although we have gotten a lot of those with these accusations. They question, I already got that. So Brett Capel had said this about it's not illegal to be a pig, a Washington campaign finance expert who has worked for Republicans and Democrats. Is what Edwards did slimy? Absolutely. Everyone will agree it was reprehensible, but it's not a crime. He had continued on. Brett Capel, that is. Some good government groups welcomed the Justice Department's decision to charge Edwards in a 6-count indictment that says he helped solicit what prosecutors called nearly $1 million in illegal contributions from political donors. More specifically, it was $900,000, but yeah. Prosecutors said his motive was to hide his mistress, Rael Hunter, and her pregnancy from the public and media. Now, the reprehensible part of this that nobody ever seems to talk about, at least in this article. It was a very bad thing, in my opinion, that he took campaign money to pay some hush money to this lady. But as it was stated, apparently this is not illegal. And, $900,000 compared to what's going on today of $130,000. Spoiler alert, John Edwards doesn't actually get convicted of this. Yeah. But they are going after Trump for $130,000. Okay. Prosecutor said his motive was to hide his measure. I read that. Sorry. The payments which covered Hunter's living. Okay, let me start this again. The payments which covered Hunter's living, medical, and other expenses are at the heart of the dispute. Prosecutors say that they were campaign contributions because they were meant to prevent Edwards' 2008 presidential bid from collapsing if the affair was discovered. Yeah, so it collapsed on its own. But yeah, this definitely would have put a dent on it. If you go through history enough, Gary Hart, that's one you can look up. Yeah, had an affair and it sunk his presidential bid. For some reason, though, Bill Clinton seemed to succeed and thrive on those kind of scandals. It's just crazy. Up until recently, that is. What else? Prosecutors, they say that the contributions also exceed legal limits. Defense lawyers are expected to argue that funds never went to the campaign and were intended as gifts from two Edwards supporters. The disclosure of Edwards' affair with Hunter and his initial denials that he fathered a child with her wound up destroying his once promising political career. Again, we have not seen hardly anything from him for 7 years. The indictment, one thing, I'm sorry, I got getting distracted here. 1 second. Because I don't think yeah, there we go. I had to adjust because I'm not speaking at my normal loud voice. The indictment returned in federal court in North Carolina retells the familiar and sordid details of Edwards' saga, arguing that they were part of an elaborate criminal conspiracy. It says Edwards and an aide plotted to solicit the contributions, some of which went to house Hunter at fancy hotels. One of the donors, Rachel Bunny Mellon, yeah, that's funny, huh? Who is 100, is quoted as offering to help pay some of Edwards' bills as a way to help our friend without government restrictions. Yeah. That's why campaign finance is dumb to begin with. People just find a way around it. Anyway, we will not permit candidates for high office to abuse their special ability to access the coffers of their political supporters to circumvent our election laws, said Lanny A. Brewer, Assistant Attorney General for the Justice Department's Criminal Division. Our campaign finance system is designed to preserve the integrity of democratic elections, ellipses, and we will vigorously pursue abuses of the kind alleged today. The hotly contested case will pose another challenge for Justice's Public Integrity Section, which has been recovering from the collapse of its 2008 case against the late Senator Ted Stevens. I don't remember the Ted Stevens thing. I really don't. But let's see what it says. Stevens, I was hoping I could remember it just to see if I could give a little bit more detailed background, but we'll just go with what the article says. Stevens was convicted on corruption charges, but prosecutorial wrongdoing led Attorney General Eric Holder Jr. to ask the judge to drop the case in 2009. Amazing. If you consider Eric Holder and who his boss was at the time. This section has won 8 trials nationwide since January. Edwards, who appeared in federal court. Oh, I'm sorry. That statement might fly in the face of what I made earlier, but whatever. Edwards, who appeared in federal court in Winston-Salem, North Carolina on Friday and was released on his own recognizance, yes, allowed that he was, or acknowledged that he has done wrong, and I take full responsibility for having done wrong. And I will regret for the rest of my life the pain and the harm I have caused to others. Did I mention my degrees of reprehensible? Because, again, if I didn't say it earlier, he did this shit. He screwed around with this woman, got her pregnant, while he was still married to his wife dying of cancer. Yeah. And people, the funny thing is now that I think about it, they got on, a lot of people got on Newt Gingrich. A lot of the left did. Because, the accusations that he did something similar. And probably did. But the former candidate and one-time legendary North Carolina trial lawyer insisted that he did nothing wrong or nothing illegal and said, I never ever thought I was breaking the law. This guy who was a lawyer never thought that he was breaking the law. I guess it's possible for lawyers to be ignorant of certain aspects of law in certain areas. I just did a redundancy. I don't know. Maybe it's not that hard to believe considering he was a fucking ambulance chaser. Lawyers for Edwards said that they will vigorously fight the charges, which include conspiracy, false statements, and illegal campaign contributions. This is an unprecedented prosecution. Okay, said Gregory Craig, Edwards' lawyer. Anyway, that's about the length, the breadth of the article that I'm going to go through. I do this as a reminder to lefties who might come across this video that this is not a whataboutism. Okay, this is about, are you guys consistent? Where were you and what was your attitude when this shit was going on with John Edwards? And going on when this happened at a much higher hush money fee to that of what is purported or alleged to be Donald Trump's $130,000. Now, if campaign violations have been committed, well, maybe articles of impeachment need to be filed, but you're not going to be able to indict them. Good luck. Anyway, guys, as I said, this is just a short video stream that I wanted to do. And again, if I doubt she'll respond, but Latin Franny, would you please let me know how you felt about this? Of course, you're probably in your 20s, and Or probably smoking in the girls' bathroom at your high school at the time. Ugh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, and again, I'll get to her. It's okay when I do it. We'll get to that. It'll happen. It will happen. Thanks so much for watching this video. Hit the links in the or hit the subscribe, the thumb thing, and maybe share it if you'd like. And I do have some donate links. Every little bit helps. Allow me to play the smallest out of tune violin in the world, guys. I just finished pursuing a higher degree, and I'm broke, and I need your help. Thanks a lot.